Have you ever prayed so hard your hands were shaking and heard nothing back? No voice, no sign, no feeling, just silence. Today I want to tell you the story of a man named Daniel. Not the Daniel from the Bible, but a man living right here in modern-day America, in a city called Memphis, Tennessee. And what happened to him in the silence of God is going to change the way you pray forever. Stay with me. Daniel was 44 years old, married for 19 years. 2 daughters, ages 12 and 9. He worked the overnight shift at a warehouse, started at 10 p.m., clocked out at 6 a.m., drove home just as the rest of Memphis was waking up. He'd been doing it for 11 years. He wasn't a bad man. He wasn't a great man either. He was just in the middle, the way most of us are. He believed in God the way you believe in air, not because you can see it, but because something terrible happens when it's gone. His wife, Renee, she was the praying one in the house. Every morning at 5:30, while Daniel was still on the warehouse floor, Renee would sit at the kitchen table, open her worn leather Bible, and talk to Jesus like he was sitting across from her, sharing coffee. Daniel admired that. But he didn't quite have it. Then came the morning of October the 7th. Renee was driving their youngest, Aaliyah, to school. A driver ran a red light. The crash was bad. Renee came home. But Aaliyah, their 9-year-old, the one who collected ladybugs and sang to herself in the bathtub, Aaliyah did not, and something in Daniel went absolutely silent. For 3 weeks, Daniel didn't go back to work. He barely left the bedroom, and every night he would sit on the edge of the bed, put his face in his hands, and say, "God, where are you? Why didn't you stop it? You could have made that light turn red 5 seconds earlier. You could have done something. And you didn't. So either you don't love us, or you're not there." No answer came. Daniel went to their church, Greater Harvest Baptist, not because his faith had grown, but because Renee needed him there. He sat in the back pew, arms folded, jaw tight, staring at the cross like it owed him something. The pastor, Reverend Harold Green, had buried children before. One Sunday, he walked to the back pew and sat down beside Daniel. Didn't say a word for 2 full minutes. Then quietly, "You still angry at him? Done." Reverend Green nodded slowly and said, "That's okay. He can take it." And he got up and walked away. Daniel thought about those 4 words for 6 days. He can take it. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. 6 weeks after the accident, Daniel was cleaning out Aaliyah's room. He found a notebook under her pillow, pink, with a ladybug sticker on the cover. He opened it, and inside, in 9-year-old handwriting, with loopy letters and hearts over the eyes, she had written on the very first page, "Dear God, thank you for my daddy. He works really hard at nighttime so we can have things. Please keep him safe when I'm sleeping. I love you. Love, Aaliyah." Daniel sat down on that floor and cried in a way he hadn't since he was a child. Later he told me, "It felt like God had been holding that for me, keeping it under that pillow all this time. Like he knew there would come a day when I needed to know somebody who loved me had been talking to him too. I'd been asking God why he was silent, but God had been speaking through her the whole time. I just didn't know how to hear it yet. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Jeremiah 29:11. Friend, I need to stop the story right here and talk directly to you, because maybe you're in a season right now that feels like Daniel's bedroom, dark, quiet, and God feels like He stepped out of the room. Here is the message I believe God wants you to hear today. Silence is not absence. When a surgeon is in the middle of an operation, they don't stop to explain every cut. They work carefully, precisely, with deep knowledge of what needs to happen and what needs to heal. God is not absent in your pain. He is working in it. He is working through it. And sometimes what He is doing is too delicate and too deep to narrate in real time. Jesus Himself, hanging on the cross, cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Even the Son of God knew what it felt like to be in the silence. And look what came 3 days later. The silence wasn't the end of the story. It was the Saturday between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, the pause before the greatest miracle. Beloved, your silence might be a Saturday too. Daniel didn't stop grieving. He still grieves. You don't just get over losing a child. You learn to carry it differently. But something shifted after that pink notebook. He started sitting beside Renee at 5:30 in the morning, not always talking, just being present. He started volunteering at their church's grief support group, not as a counselor, just as a man who showed up and said, "I know what the silence feels like. You're not crazy, and you're not alone." And 3 years after October the 7th, his older daughter, now 15, came to him and said, "Daddy, I want to be baptized." Daniel wept through the whole ceremony. He told me, "I thought God had taken everything from me, but He was building something I couldn't see yet. Out of the worst thing that ever happened to us, He was still building." And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Whatever you're facing today, a loss, a broken relationship, a door that won't open, a prayer that keeps going unanswered, I want to leave you with this. God is not punishing you. God is not ignoring you. And God has not forgotten you. You are in His hands right now, in the silence, in the waiting, in the Saturday. Trust the one who loved you before you were born. Trust the one who sent His own Son so that no pain you carry would be carried alone. Trust the one who kept a pink ladybug notebook under a little girl's pillow, knowing exactly when her father would need to find it. He sees you. He knows you. And He is still building. God bless you. I'll see you next time. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs it today. Subscribe for a new message every week. And drop in the comments. When was a time God's silence turned into something beautiful in your life? I read every single one.